I'm with Dr. Bandukwala here. It's an absolute honor to be here with him. He's been a consultant physician and a diabetologist for over 40 years. He's practicing in Mumbai. You can find him at Leelavati Hospital and at Hiranandani. And he has his own clinic in Powai. You can meet him. He's so friendly, he's so sincere, and he always looks. What I really like is that he always gives the most genuine, the most uh, holistic advice, which is really suitable for you. Thank you for coming here, Dr.
Thank you.
Mundukwan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I'll start with the first question. Is diabetes a genetic disease? Does it really run in the family?
Classically, diabetes is not a genetic disease,
Yeah.
meaning that it is not transferred through a gene.
Okay.
In means if genetic disease means the tendency for the disease to be passed, as is passed on from one generation to another, because there is a defect in one of the genes.
Yeah.
This is not true for diabetes. Actually, diabetes is a polygenetic disease. Polygenetic disease means there are multiple factors which ultimately leads to diabetes. Diabetes has a tendency to run in families. It is not hereditary transferred, but it is a tendency to run in families. I'll give you a rule of the thumb. If
Yeah.
if one parent is diabetic, you have got a 30% chance of becoming diabetic. If
Yeah.
two parents are diabetic, you have got 70% chance of diabetes.
Okay.
If both the parents and one side grandparents is diabetic, you've got 90% chance of becoming a diabetic.
Okay.
If both the parents and then both side grandparents are diabetes, chances are that will 100% chance that a person will get diabetes. This is a rule of the thumb. It's
Okay.
not true in every case, but
Yeah.
this is a rule of the thumb.
But it can be prevented. I mean, as you and I are working on it anyway. So, but
Of
it can be
course,
prevented with.
of course, of
Okay.
course. It's a corollary of the first question
Yeah.
on that if we know that we have a tendency, I would use the word that a patient, if there is a history of diabetes in the family, there is a
Yeah.
tendency for a person to become diabetes, but it's
Okay.
perfectly preventable.
Now, of course, a natural progression of the same question. So, how do I track the control of blood sugar levels? This could be for someone who has diabetes or someone who has diabetes running in the family and would, want to prevent it.
Right. So if you want to know whether the blood sugar is under control or not, first thing you should know what are the targets, what are the blood sugar levels which are supposed to be normal.
Okay.
Uh, so blood sugar classically, if the blood sugar has to be below 100 milligram percent.
Okay.
Fasting blood sugar should be
Yeah.
below 100 milligram percent, and post-meal blood sugar should be less than 140 milligram percent. When I mean post-meal, I mean 2 hours, two
Yeah.
hours post-meal, right?
Okay.
Now, having said this, is when if the patient has got a blood sugar between 110 and 125,
Yeah.
right, then he's classified as pre-diabetic. If it's
Okay.
below 100, then the patient is not diabetic by
Okay.
fasting sugar criteria.
Okay.
If his blood sugar 2 hours post meal is between 140 and 200, he will be classified as a pre-diabetic.
Okay. And what about HbA1c? Is that used to track blood sugar control, or is that something that we use later on? Like if it's
No,
like
no, no. Hemo today, a couple of years back, it was not a criteria for diagnosis of diabetes, but
okay,
today hemoglobin A1C is a criteria for a diagnosis of diabetes. In normal if the patient glycosylated hemoglobin is below 5.4, is normal.
no,
Between 5.4 and 6.4, or the patient is pre-diabetic. Then 6.4 and above, the patient is supposed to be diabetic.
okay. We look at fasting blood sugar, we look at post-meal blood sugar, and we look at the glycosylated hemoglobin. Perfect. Good.
Uh,
Okay, so what are the symptoms of someone who may be at high risk should keep an eye on?
Okay. Uh, you would be surprised to know that at times the patient will be diabetic and have no symptoms.
Oh,
Patient sugar would be 250, 350, no symptoms at all. Well, and on routine examination, because of employment, pre-employment checkup or regular health
mm,
checkup, the patient picks up that he has got diabetes. So you should be aware. So what does it entail? It entails that people with high risks should be on their guard and do testing on a regular basis to see whether they have diabetes or not. So now I'm telling you the symptoms. Then he comes and tells me, I have fatigue, I am feeling very tired when I come in the evening. I'm not really up to my mark. There is increased urination, there is increased thirst in the daytime. Then I ask him, since how long? He says, okay, since last 15 days. Yes. And then we do a blood sugar, and or his family doctor does a blood sugar, and we find high.
mm,
But his diabetes is not, but if you do his hemoglobin A1C, which is a 3 months average, it will
ah,
be 8, 7, 8.5,
oh
showing that the patient already had diabetes before he had
my
symptoms.
God. Oh God.
Very rarely the patient comes with high blood sugar with a hemoglobin A1C
Right.
within normal limit or in a pre-diabetic level. So we are aware that especially the adult type 2 diabetes can come 10 to 12 years even before the onset of symptoms. And patient does not know
Yeah.
that he has got diabetes. At least normal in a health checkup when we do either every year or every 2 years for a normal people. No family history,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
No no gestational history, no issue of diabetes
Yeah.
in pregnancy, and then there is no diabetes. If all these factors are not there, every 1 year or every 2 years, or whenever you are doing a regular checkup, you should do your fasting, your post
Okay.
meal, and your hemoglobin A1C. These three things you need to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Eh, but people who have a tendency,
Mm,
because of the family history of diabetes, is should regularly check up at least once a year.
okay. This is very surprising. It's so many years without a symptom. I mean, even for
Yes.
the person, it must be such a shock to find out that there is.
Yes, it is. It is.
You can
It
imagine.
is. It's an emotional way for patient. You suddenly say you got diabetes and you go 300. You go 300 diabetes. Oh, what will happen to me? My eyes will go. I'll get a heart attack. My I get a amputation. You know, all those fears and most important, all my what will I eat? You know, all those. I mean, it's a real, and that's where the reassurance becomes extremely important.
Yeah. So what are the we spoke about risk factors. So what are the common risk factors that one should look out for? So of course, genetic predisposition is one, but what are some
Fam-
other
you
factors?
use the word familial predisposition.
Yes. Ah, yes,
Familial.
yes. Yeah.
So, what are the common risk factors? Now, it is a lot of patients comes and tell me that I have no family history.
Yeah.
Yet my blood sugars are high. So, to have diabetes is not necessary to have a family history. As I said, it is not a genetically
Yeah.
linked.
Yeah.
If it is genetically linked, then will be definite at family history. Contributory part is very important. So, the common risk factors, what we know is lifestyle, right? Sedentary lifestyle, patient who are overweight, patient who have increased calorie intake. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about increased calorie intake which leads to and patients who have high cholesterol and triglycerides, they got a high cholesterol in the blood, no blood sugar, but high cholesterol, patient with
Yeah.
high blood pressure, or all these are huge risk factors for the
Okay.
patient to become diabetes. Even
Okay.
age is a risk factor. As we grow older,
Yeah.
60 plus, the insulin which is produced is not utilized effectively because of the age, and
Yeah.
hence a patient can get diabetes at the age of 65, age
Yeah.
70. So age itself becomes a very important part.
Okay.
But most
Okay.
important is sedentary lifestyle and obesity. patient and the
Okay.
females who have PCOD,
Yeah.
they are also have, and that's why they have got insulin resistance. So
Correct. Correct.
that's why they are also prone as a risk factor for diabetes.
Okay. 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 So, risk factors, I think largely what you're saying is lifestyle is what we have to look at. And so I think someone who's tracking their progress, someone who knows what the family history is like, and someone who's able to identify the right risk factor should be able to take care of this situation a lot better. So thank you so much for giving me your time, Dr. Bandukwala. It was an honor to listen to what, to learn from you. And there's almost always so much more I can learn. So I'm going to catch you again. And thank you so much for your time. And if I get any more questions, I'm going to keep passing on to you.
Sure,
If
it
you
will
have.
be a pleasure. We can have an ongoing. And
Super. All right.
okay,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Very good. Bye.